our guest of honor, Her Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, to make a statement.
Your Excellency, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, the retired General Nandi-Ndatiwah, the First Gentleman, Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, Excellency, former President of the Republic of Namibia, allow me to call you that. Excellencies, fellow heads of state and government here present and the spouse, and I recognize and stand on the protocol earlier established. Friendly people of Namibia, what a historic day for Namibia, for our region SADC, and for Africa. With great honor and humility, I stand before you to address this auspicious moment for Namibia, Africa, and myself as well. Today, Namibia is not just celebrating its National Day, but marking a historic moment in the continent by swearing in Africa's second female executive president. The jubilations, the colorful celebrations, and the euphoric written all over the faces of Namibians is a clear testimony to lead them to prosperity. To my dear brother, President Nangolo Mbumba, allow me for the second time to start addressing you as former president, in the midst of our dear late brother, President Geingob. You and I share the similar experience of leading a nation from a grief to hope. Your work is not just felt, but it is seen in the celebrations we are witnessing today. Take Namibia to prosperity. I wish you peaceful retirement, and Tanzania will be ready to host you. To our friendly brothers and sisters of Namibia, today is your day. Thank you for setting a perfect example in exercising your democratic right in a peaceful manner. You made a wise choice and a sound investment by electing a woman president. As you also mark your 35th independence anniversary, I want to wish you a happy Independence Day and enjoy the double celebrations of rewriting your history. To President Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, and my dear sister, Tanzania, we fondly address you as Mama Swapo, a name given to you by our founding father, Mwalimu Nyerere. My heartfelt congratulations to you once again for making history, but also for setting the bar high for Africa and Namibia's girl child. Your resounding victory is a moment of pride to the continent, but more so to the people of Tanzania, your home during the most part of your primary years. To Tanzanians, we are happy to see the daughter we nurtured and raised with love and compassion has now risen to the highest office on this land. Madam President, your neighbors in Magomeni, Dar es Salaam, are celebrating and sending you their best wishes. Fighting for freedom and liberation of the continent. Our two founding fathers split if others were not free. Free from colonization, free from oppression, and free from apartheid. Today, our fathers, the late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, and the late Sam Nujoma, may their souls, including their link to your attention that the late Sam Nujoma was once a Tanzanian by passport. Named Sam Mwakanga, President Hekiphefunye, were homes with their families in it. On the other hand, Her Excellency Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah, Mama wa SWAPO, played a key role in coordinating the support needed for SWAPO, was serving as SWAPO's representative in Tanzania between 1980 to 1986. Why am I bringing all this today? Because I just want the world to know that Tanzania and Namibians are brothers and kin, are brothers by kin,
but only separated by the imaginary lines of geographical borders. Our two countries have worked side by side in all spheres of development. We have sought to strengthen
ties, both bilaterally and regionally, at the SADC, AU,
and the UN. Our two countries have been instrumental in advancing eminent issues
on women economic empowerment and gender equality. As history would have it, prominent Tanzanian and Namibian women formed the center stage of these discussions. Mama Gertrude Mongela served as the Secretary General of the historic Beijing Conference in 1995, while the Rapporteur General of the conference was Her Excellency Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah. This is no coincidence that today, 30 years later after that historic conference, these countries have lived up to their efforts and have been able to have women rising to the highest political office. Excellencies and dear comrades, we lived and fought together, and we remained steadfast in the most challenging times. Today, as the world is experiencing power shifts and change in geopolitical ideologies, we must ensure that we stand together with a more determination, knowing that victory lies in the justness of our cause. The challenges faced by our founding fathers are not the same today. Our region and continent is now grappling with enormous challenges, emancipate our people from the grip of abject poverty, hunger, and insecurity. Our economies are debt-burdened, coupled with uneven trade imbalances, while our populations are growing and ecosystems are shrinking. Our borders are no longer safe. The notion of good neighborliness is eroding with increased inter-conflicts rather than intra-conflicts we experienced in the past. Today, we stand at a crossroad to ensure inclusive economic growth while striving to stay on track to build the Africa we want and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, in confronting these challenges, our strength lies in our unity. African solidarity remains as essential now, and we must contemplate what this solidarity means both today and in the future. From my perspective, it entails fostering stronger relations and enhancing engagements between our governments. As Africa, we must stand tall to be each other's gatekeepers rather than being each other's foes. To all of us here present, this day must serve as a reminder to the struggle sustained in the fight for freedom, justice, and equality. It is on occasion like this that we are reminded of our forefathers' sacrifices in the name of freedom, justice, and the right to self-determination. Beyond our regions, together we must insist on global action on shared issues. It is imperative that Africa's voices are amplified and critical global conservations. We must call for reforms in global governance to ensure it is more inclusive, efficient, and accountable. In conclusion, on behalf of my fellow heads of states and government, I take the liberty to once again thank you, the government and the people of Namibia, for the invitation extended to us and the cordial hospitality offered to our delegations. My dear sister, President Nandi-Ndatiwah, Africa and the world knows you from your days of Mama Swapo to the present. We have seen your unwavering dedication to the betterment of all Namibians and your relentless pursuit of peace, stability, and prosperity of this great nation. As you take this new responsibility, we wish to reiterate to you, Madam President, and the government of the Republic of Namibia, that our governments are committed to strengthening the all-weather friendship and cooperation that happily exists among our countries. As a sister in politics, we want to assure you, you can as well count on us, our support, as presidents of our countries and chairpersons of our political parties, especially on the front-line states. Our doors are open to consult, discuss, and even share experiences. For we believe on our moral duty to emancipate, empower Africa's future generations. At this end, we wish you all the best, and thank you very much all. Thank you.
And there you see the President of the Republic of Tanzania, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, embracing both the newly appointed President and her spouse, as well as the now former President, Dr. Nangola Mbumba, and his spouse, Seski Mbumba. Suluhu Hassan, of course, in her speech, her statement as the guest of honor, praised Namibia's Nambumba's leadership, rather, when he took over from the late President Dr. Hage Geingob, and congratulating Namibians in placing their faith in a female leader to take Namibia to to greater heights. I beg your pardon. Nora?
Yes, indeed. All right, let's just listen to the Director of Ceremony.
You make a worthy and sound investment. That is the central message that I can take away from the statement of Her Excellency Suluhu Hassan. Thank you very much for the confirmation. So says a woman who has been in the leadership of her own country in Africa and know the benefits that can be reaped from investing in a female leader. Now the moment that all of us have been waiting for, to hear the church, to hear the policy direction, to hear the voice of our female president. Now, where I come from, in the east of the country, or Maheke region, we say, Pula! Let it rain. Let it rain prosperity. Let it rain for the Namibian children. Pula! Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah, it is a privilege and an honor for me, and it is not a cliche, because it's the first time I have to call up the President of the Republic of Namibia, 5th President and the first female President. It is a great honor for me. I hope my grandson, 3-year-old, is watching me, how I am stepping into history. Your Excellency, this is your moment.
Please be seated. Thank you, Directors of Ceremonies, Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the 4th President of the Republic of Namibia, and now immediate former President, and Madam Siska Mbumba. Your Excellencies, heads of state and governments, Your Excellency, Dr. Ifike Punye Pohamba, our 2nd President, and Madam Penehu Pifo Pohamba, Your Excellencies, former heads of states and governments, Your Excellencies, Vice Presidents, and Prime Ministers, Honorable Dr. Sarah Kuongero Amadila, Speaker of the National Assembly, and Mr. Amadila, Honorable Lucas Sinimbo Muha, Chairperson of the National Council, and Madam Muha, Your Lordship Peter Shivute, Chief Justice, and Justice Shivute, all our visiting dignitaries, and let me recognize my dear husband, General Ndatiwah, and ask
and ask to stand on the protocol established by the Director of Ceremonies, but singling out my dear sister Samia Suluhu Hassan, of the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. I want also to, looking into the audience, I'm really moved. And with your permissions, directors of ceremony, I cannot avoid but to recognize African women leaders in this room. And I believe it is not too much. It's not too much if I can ask the African women leaders who are visiting us in this occasion just to raise. African women leaders who are visiting us specifically. Among them, I'm recognizing faces that have played a major role in the preparation and the holding of the 4th World Conference on Women that took place in Beijing. Madam Ellen Sirleaf was then working at the UNDP. And in my capacity as the chief negotiator for the African group and the Beijing platform, we had serious problems where to meet. But I know the Deputy Secretary General is here, and this is not reporting anybody. She made her office available for us to operate there. And they were working with Viola Morgan, who's also in the audience. Please, my colleagues, thank you very much for coming, and take your seat. I'll now go to my statement. Fellow Namibians, ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathered here as Namibians, joined by the international community to witness the change of administration from one head of state to another. Changing of administration has become an entrenchment political and historical phenomenon in the Namibian culture and tradition since independence in 1990. I therefore stand before you today with profound gratitude and a deep sense of responsibility towards the people of Namibia who placed their trust and confidence in me by electing me as the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia to lead this great nation for the next 5 years. Directors of ceremonies, my ascendance to the highest office in the land is the accumulation of years of struggle by generations of Namibian men and women for the political, social, and economic liberation of our motherland. I would like to pay homage to all of them those who have passed on, and the living. Today's event is taking place 20 days after we laid to rest His Excellency, Comrade Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, Namibia's founding president, father of the Namibian nation, and the leader of our revolution. May his soul rest in perfect peace, as he is one of those we are paying homage today. Let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge the crucial role that the international community has played in our struggle for national independence. Your solidarity, material, and moral support has carried us to the logical conclusion of our struggle, namely the attainment of our independence. It is gratifying to see that so many representatives of friendly countries, organizations, and individuals, friends of Namibia, have come to celebrate with us our 35th anniversary of our independence and to witness my inauguration. Your presence here today is highly appreciated. It's a source of inspiration and a moral booster to me and Namibians at large. And I want to assure you that our policies on strengthening cooperation with the international communities, with your own countries, and your organization would continue to be strengthened. Director of Ceremonies, my inauguration today is taking place against the backdrop of solid foundation that was laid by my predecessors. Our founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, who led the liberation struggle and laid a solid foundation for peace, political stability, democracy, social and economic development. In his acceptance speech as first president of an independent Namibia, Comrade Sam Shafishuna Nujoma had this to say, and I quote, "I move in the name of our people to declare that Namibia is forever free, sovereign, and independent." End of quote. Successfully, President Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba and Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob and Nangolo Mbumba built on that foundation, and each and every one of them made a distinctive contribution to nation building, among others, strengthening our democratic institutions, capacities, consolidating national unity, social and economic development. Accordingly, in assuming the presidency on the 21st March 2005, President Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba had this to say, and I quote, "A new dawn has set on our beautiful country. From this day onward, our country will continue to move towards the future as a united, democratic, and prosperous nation." End of quote. While President Dr. Hage Geingob, in celebrating the 30th anniversary of our independence, said, and I quote, "It was on this day that we witness the hosting of the Namibian flag, symbolizing the birth of a sovereign nation, celebrating the gift of freedom and opportunity to pursue our common aspiration. And in addressing our 34th independence anniversary, President Nangolo Mbumba reminded us that, and I quote, "True independence is fundamental to the success and credibility of any nation. It is only through independence that people can obtain their dignity and full humanity," end of quote. With those profound statements of our leaders, the progress that we have made as a nation was a result of collective efforts. Individual members of our society responded to the call of our leaders, and each arm of the state, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, made significant contribution to the political, social, and economic development of our country. Similarly, the private sector, churches, traditional authorities, and other non-state actors have been also important constituency in nation building. I therefore pledge to continue to work with all these institutions and to make a success of our country. In other words, the legacy of our leaders has to continue. Directors of ceremonies, the task facing me as the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia is to preserve the gains of our independence on all fronts and to ensure that unfinished agenda of economic and social advancement of our people is carried forward with vigor and determination to bring about a shared, balanced prosperity for all. The mandate that the electorate gave to the SWAPO party under my leadership is clearly articulated in the SWAPO Party Election Manifesto 2025 to 2030, the SWAPO Party Political Program, and the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia. Those will be my guiding instrument throughout my presidency as I serve all people of Namibia regardless of their political affiliation. Directors of ceremony, I have been an advocate for equality between men and women. I believe that it's not good for a society to underplay the role that one segment of the population can play in the social, political, and economic fiber of our society. The SWAPO Party Congress of 2002 took a bold decision to amend the SWAPO Party Constitution to provide for 50-50 representation in the leadership in all party structures. And I'm happy to make this statement in the presence of President Hifikepunye Pohamba, our second president, who presided over the 2002 SWAPO Party Congress. The SWAPO Party government then followed this policy in the running of the government. The result has been encouraging. as many women, including myself, have been occupying strategic positions in government. At one point, we had the Prime Minister, who's a woman, the Deputy Prime Minister, a woman. However, we might all know that equality between women and men and the empowerment of women is work in progress all over the world. However, in Namibia, though we have made some progress, I must say, still a lot remains to be done, like it's the case in many countries. I believe that having been elected as president of my country will encourage women from all walks of life to stand up and to be counted, with a clear understanding that I was not elected because I'm a woman, but on merit. That is to say, as women, we should not ask to be elected to position of responsibility because we are women, but because we are capable members of our society to hold such positions. And that is the underlying factor. Directors of ceremonies, the development of any country depends on the quality of its human resources. To this end, education and training will continue to be a priority to ensure that we develop technical and managerial skills and work ethics that requires in the labor market to efficiently and effectively manage our economy and create the necessary jobs. We will therefore promote continuous improvement of our education system from pre-primary, primary, secondary, tertiary, as well as vocational levels. In addition, access to quality health care is a right that all Namibians should enjoy, irrespective of their economic and social status. We will ensure the implementation of the comprehensive universal health coverage to serve all Namibians in all the parts of our countries. Directors of ceremony, we will increase investment in the development of infrastructures to open investment opportunities, enhance economic productivity, promote economic growth, and improve the quality of life of our people. Our country has witnessed unprecedented process of urbanization over the past 35 years that put tremendous pressure on the urban infrastructures, sanitation, and housing. We will therefore upscale investment in urban land development and delivery to facilitate access to decent housing by the majority of our people. The investment in urban areas will be accompanied by investment in rural development with particular reference to agriculture to address the rural-urban migration. A green revolution is indeed visible in our country based on available land and water resources. We are going to increase investment in the agricultural sector to increase output and meet domestic food requirements. agriculture, as our founding president taught us, people who cannot feed themselves, they will never be respected. Agriculture can also produce raw materials that can serve as an input to the manufacturing sector, a necessity for industrialization and job creation. Director of Ceremonies, we pledge to the people of Namibia to diversify our economy for our people to drive maximum benefit from our country's natural resources through value additions. The diversification, mendel, and enhance and expand social safety nets. It will also create jobs to take care of the unemployed, of which majority are the youth. Opportunities will be created for the effective participation of the youth and women in various sectors of our economy through targeted financing, training, mentorship, and internship program. As part of youth empowerment program, the government will promote various sports codes and investment in appropriate sports infrastructure, because many of our youth, they are the beneficiary in this. Attention will also be given to the creative industries to make space for our people to bring out their talents. Directors of ceremonies, the attainment of sustainable socio-economic development can only be realized through an accountable administration. Therefore, we will promote good governance with predictable, rule-based system that instills confidence in our institution. Public servants are required to maintain at all times high ethical standards. They should provide the best possible service to the population timelessly without favoritism. Corruption in all its manifestations should be avoided at all costs. As a student of Mwalimu Nyerere, he taught me, and he also said it in one of his writings, that corruption must be treated as treason. And I agree, because through corruption, citizens can be frustrated and in the process overthrow governments. Director of ceremonies, we commit ourselves, and when I talk about we, I mean the people of Namibia who have entrusted me to speak on their behalf. We commit ourselves to deepen regional integration through the Southern Africa Development Community, SADC, as a building block for Africa's continental integration through the African Union, with particular reference to the African Continental Free Trade Area, an instrument that can only enable this continent truly to build the Africa we want. Failure to do that, that instrument will remain in paper, while African citizens will continue to live in absolute poverty. And who of my generation would want to hand over a continent in that situation to the coming generation? It's now up to us as African leaders to make sure that the trust and the confidence the citizens of our continent has placed on us is not betrayed. In Namibia, we will continue to contribute to the international efforts to address global challenges facing humanity today, such as environmental degradation and climate change. We are in this room today. We expect to be at the stadium because the past years we were so relaxed when it comes to the rain pattern. Particularly in Namibia, we knew that traditionally March is the heaviest rain season. But 35 of Namibia's independence, we never had the rain to the extent we have it this year. This is an impact of climate change. We believe in the peaceful resolution of conflicts, internally and internationally. And our policy to support the right of the people of Palestine and Western Sahara to self-determination will continue to be strengthened. We want to promote a win-win situation in trade at the regional level, continental level, and international level. Accordingly, we then will continue to demand for the lifting of sanctions against Cuba, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe in order to allow the trade to move from these countries to other parts of the world. Directors of ceremonies, as members of the AU Committee of 10, Namibia will continue to demand for the reform of the UN Security Council in order to ensure a fair representation of all citizens of the world. As I conclude, I am optimistic that as a nation, we can make a success of our country. We must work together as united people with one heart and one mind. Our founding president taught us, and I repeat, or I quote, "A people united, striving to achieve a common goal for all members of society will always emerge victorious." End of quote. Fellow Namibians, we all need to put our hands on the plow. There is a role to play for each and every Namibian. And we have enough resources to be shared by all Namibians. I implore every citizen, regardless of your background or political affiliation, to join me on this journey of continuous nation building. Let us move in unison under the banner of one Namibia, one nation, to build a prosperous future for ourselves, our children, and our generations to come. I want to thank sincerely our fourth president, Comrade Nangolo Mbumba. He led us during a very, very difficult time. But he has been very calm, and all of us, we were really comforted. And we were able to continue with our national responsibilities. He organized all the programs to send off our departed president in a very dignified manner. As God always prepared, he even made preparations that made it convenient that when our founding president departed, he was able to be paid farewell to all Namibians when the body was taken to all 14 regions of Namibia. It was an action highly appreciated by our people, in particular the young ones. They are all now have made history, that when they grow and the history of Namibia, they will read it, they will say, I was along the road when we were bidding farewell to our founding president. Again, during that process, our men and women in uniform have really done proud to our nation in the manner in which they manage the whole process. It is this leadership that I emulate. Ma'am Sister, you have been always there. Besides our president, you have really given the support which we highly appreciated. For me now, as the fifth president of the Republic of Namibia, I am committed, I am determined, and I believe that together with all Namibians, we can make Namibia the best place for one to live in. Long live the Republic of Namibia. Long live the people of Namibia. Long live the friendship between Namibia and the people of the world. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your attention.
At the start of his speech, he did acknowledge fellow former female African leaders, which include Johnson Sirleaf, the former president of Liberia, and also Nkosazana, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini as well, and just thanking them also for laying the foundation that she is now going to build upon, also paying respect to the founding president and those that came before her as well, including the late president, Dr. Hage Geingob, and of course, Hifikepunye Pohamba as well.
Absolutely. She also said that she's going to preserve the gains that have been made at independence. And she will particularly focus on economic development so that the country moves towards a shared prosperity for all. And in this regard, she said that she's going to be the president of all Namibians, and not just SWAPO members, but all Namibians. which was a very important thing to say. Let's just listen.
Now I will ask the Namibian Defence Force military band to seal what their Commander-in-Chief has just said with a performance while we are preparing for the congratulatory handshake by foreign heads of state and government, former heads of state and government, vice presidents, and prime ministers. After the performance. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, NDF Brass Band. Now I will ask Her Excellency, the President, as well as General, the First Gentleman, to step forward as I am calling upon foreign heads of state and government for the congratulatory handshake. And once they are done, I will call upon the next category. Thank you very much. Your Excellency. Kindly step forward. Can the protocol...
Yes, and there we have beg your pardon, there we have the head of state alongside her spouse, First Gentleman now, awaiting for the congratulatory handshakes to come through, and they will be given by foreign heads of state or government and former heads of state and government, vice presidents and prime ministers.
Yes, and before that we had the military band performing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to note, Jonas, that the majority of the instruments that they were using were the trumpet, because the trumpet, of course, is a military instrument. You know, the last post in Reveille is always a trumpet, and as well as the drums, which have always been used in military campaigns, you know, to provide morale and to egg on the soldiers.
Let's quickly cross over to the Director of Ceremonies.
And Chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation, and guest of honor. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of the African Union.
In Tanzania at that time, Tanganyika, and they used to refer to her as Mama Waswapo. and she also mentioned that they share, the people of Tanzania share in the joy with Namibians to see one of their own, basically, who was nurtured in Tanzania at that time, Tanganyika, to rise to the highest office in the land.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and she even mentioned the suburb where they stayed, Magomeni. President Mnangagwa, Emerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe.
Always with this scarf with the colors of the
signature scarf, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, yes. It has become his look now. You don't see him anyway without that scarf.
Absolutely. I've also seen quite a number of the high-ranking officials in the Zimbabwean government also taking on that look.
And of course, this is President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa.
There's an interesting question somebody posed to me a few days ago, saying that yes, we will have, the first female president, but now we have what happens to the office of the first lady now? Because now we have
occupied by the first gentleman.
Yes,
I suppose.
So exactly. What are the duties of the first gentleman? If you have any knowledge of that, Nora.
I don't. Never having been a president myself, so I wouldn't know what the first gentleman is supposed to do. Especially one that comes from the military.
Absolutely. As we could cross over.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of the East African Community. His Excellency, President of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, and Madam. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Zambia. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency, President of the Republic of Mozambique, His Excellency, Vice President of the Equatorial Guinea, His Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency, my apologies. Her Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the Right Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, His Excellency, former President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency South Africa, my apologies, I will start. His Excellency Thabo Mbeki, former President of the Republic of South Africa. His Excellency, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Your Excellency, former President of the Republic of Liberia. His Excellency Mr. Jacob Zuma, former President of the Republic of South Africa. Her Excellency, former President of the Republic of Malawi. Her Excellency, former President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. His Excellency, former President of the Republic of Botswana. Her Excellency, former Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa and Under Secretary General of the United Nations. His Excellency Prime Minister of the Republic of Cuba. His Excellency the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini. And finally, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism of the Republic of Malta and Chairperson of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You may now take your seats. Okay. Your Excellency Your Excellency Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee and Special Envoy from the People's Republic of China. We are quickly verifying. Okay, thank you very much. I am under instruction. I call upon His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, and finally, Her Excellency Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Excuse me, Your Excellency, we cannot take our seats without acknowledging the presence of SADC and shaking hands with SADC. Therefore, I call upon His Excellency, the Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community. He went out. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now I call upon Honorable Emma Theophilus, Member of Parliament, to move a vote of thanks. She said yesterday she's also a former minister.
Quite some familiar faces there coming to shake hands with the President and her spouse.
Familiar and some not so familiar. Absolutely. Yes, and also the occasion to have a photo shoot.
Let's quickly switch over to the podium where Matthew Phyllis will be giving the vote of thanks.
Nandi-Ndatiwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, and Lieutenant General Epaphras Ndenga-Daitwa, our First Gentleman. Our Fourth President, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, and Madame Mbumba, our Fourth First Lady. Our guest of honor, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellencies, Heads of States, Your Excellency Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, our Second President, and Madame Pohamba, and all former heads of state, please allow me to stand on the established protocol. On this 35th independence anniversary of our country, it is an immense honor and privilege to carry out the task of delivering a vote of thanks on this momentous day in the Namibian nation. I wish to start by borrowing from Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first elected female head of state in Liberia and across the African continent, who during her inaugural speech of January 2006 in Monrovia, Liberia, declared, and I quote, "Let us first praise Almighty God, the arbiter of all affairs of humankind, whose omnipotent hand guides and steers our nation," unquote. Moments ago, we bore witness to the swearing in of our country's first female president and the fifth head of state of the Republic of Namibia. Indeed, the Women's Hour has arrived. Her Excellency, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah's hour has come, and we ought to be proud and thankful. To you, Your Excellency, Madam President Ndatiwah, we say thank you for rising up to the occasion at a time such as this. We thank you, President Ndatiwah, for availing yourself to lead our great and promising nation. To our guest of honor, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, we thank you sincerely for being here with us and delivering an exhilarating statement to solidify that indeed being a female head of state should not be an exception but the norm. It is said, gratitude is a currency that never depreciates. I now wish to extend a word of thanks to the esteemed heads of state and heads of delegations who have joined us here today. Director of Proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd please allow me to only mention the names of the countries and the institutions of the head of states, heads of delegations, vice presidents, prime ministers, former heads of states, and former prime ministers and speakers of parliament, as they already recognized at the beginning of this program in the morning. The Republic of Angola, Republic of Zimbabwe, the Republic of Algeria, the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, the Republic of South Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Republic of Kenya, Republic of Zambia, Republic of Botswana, Republic of Mozambique, Republic of Uganda, Republic of Ghana, the Republic of Malawi, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, United Republic of Tanzania, Republic of Liberia, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Republic of Cuba, Kingdom of Eswatini, Kingdom of Lesotho, People's Republic of China, Republic of Malta, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland, the African Union Commission, the United Nations, the SADC Secretariat, SWAPO Party of Namibia, Chama cha Pintuzi of Tanzania, MPLA of Angola, ZANU-PF of Zimbabwe, ANC of South Africa, FRELIMO of Mozambique, Democratic Party of Botswana, the Russia Communist Party, the Communist Party of China, the Communist Party of Cuba, the Palestine Liberation Organization, Polisario Front, PSUV of Venezuela, United Russia Party, and all representatives of global, regional, and continental banking and developmental institutions. They say, the smallest good deserves the greatest thanks. I would like to thank all the national leaders in the Republic of Namibia, including our spiritual leaders and our traditional authority leaders. The government of the Republic of Namibia wishes to extend its immense gratitude to the Namibian people, thousands of whom have been following today's proceedings from televisions and mobile devices due to weather conditions that made it impossible to convene a large and accessible gathering. To the Namibian people, we thank you for your patience and we appreciate that you are kind to us. Dr. Nangolo Mbumba and the former First Lady of the Republic of Namibia, Madam Suski Mbumba, you have led the Namibian nation through difficult and painful times, but you have done so with grace, humility, and decisiveness, and have, in so doing, continued to unite the residents of this Namibian house. President Mbumba, what could we have done without you on the 4th of February 2024? What could we have done without you again on February 8th of 2025? They say a debt of gratitude is a debt never fully repaid. And so we say thank you, President Bumba and Madam Bumba, our First Lady. What you have done for Namibia can never fully be repaid. Tatekulu Hifikepunye Pohamba, our second president, we thank you for being here with us, and we are happy to see you as you are our pillar of strength. Once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to all who have contributed to this momentous occasion: senior government officials, captains of industry, fellow Namibians, friends of Namibia, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, William Arthur Ward said, "Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping up a present and not giving it. Therefore, I give this to you from the bottom of my heart and the hearts of the leaders in the Republic of Namibia, under the leadership of Madam President and Commander-in-Chief of the Namibian Defense Forces, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndatiwah. I thank you sincerely."
Thank you very much, Honorable Theophilus. Now, I wish to also, on behalf of myself and my co-director of ceremony, Honorable Franz Kapofi, who is the former Minister of Defense, express our appreciation to His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, former President of the Republic of Namibia, for entrusting us with a mammoth task of directing this event. This event only comes after every 10 years. In the calendar of Namibia, this is the apex event where two ceremonies are taking place in one event, and that is the independence celebration as well as the inauguration of a new president. And the two of us were entrusted with that mammoth responsibility, which to us is very, very much humbling and a privilege to have steered this program. I hope we have done it, Comrade President, former President, to your satisfaction and also to the satisfaction of Madam President. I thank you very much for the opportunity once again. And now I call upon you all, respectfully, Your Excellency, to rise for the rendition of the AU and the national anthems, sung concurrently with the 21-gun salute. Thank you very much.
And there you have it, dear viewers. This broadcast was brought to you by the NBC from State House, where we witnessed the swearing in or the taking of the oath of Namibia's first female president and fifth president of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Nandi-Ndatiwah. Jonas?
Yes, the fourth elected president as well. Yes, indeed, the fifth president, but the fourth elected president of the Republic. It has been a great pleasure witnessing this historic moment and being able to be the conduit for our audience, both at home and abroad in the diaspora. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
I'd also like to say thank you to